Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and introduce week 10 to you, which is March the 9th through the 15th. We're looking at large numbers and possessive adjectives. You want to study pages 81 to 94 in your text and review pages 58 to 75. At the end of this week, you should be able to discuss your classes, be able to count up to a billion, and to be able to talk about things that belong to you and to other people using possessive adjectives. You should be able to exchange information about classes and talk about how you and others feel. You should be able to make plans to do something with someone and be able to ask for and give simple directions. You should be able to use greeting, nationality, and classroom vocabulary, as well as adjectives and adjective agreement rules, regular present tense verbs, and regular present tense conjugation rules to describe with native to near native fluency an important person in your life. This week's work addresses student learning outcomes 1, 2, and 3, and all assignments are due on the 12th. Okay. I'm going to start this week, like all others, by looking at the Instructor made videos. There's videos on possessive adjectives, large numbers, tener, and some of Chapter 3's vocabulary. After you've watched the videos, you want to come back out here, click on the class participation forum, click on the thread, hit reply, and post any questions or concerns you have about material either covered in the videos or covered in class this week. If you don't have any questions or concerns, then you still need to post that you have no questions, but you have to post something or else you get a 0. It is an assignment. After you're done posting, you want to go back out here. You do have oral dialogue oral dialogue 2 this week. You'll want to open up your participation. You should see something that says critiqued by Jennifer Ray. You are going to want to use the script that I critiqued for you to make a recording. This video right here will kind of explain how that works, but when you're ready, you'll open up Oral Dialogue 2 after you've got your script. You have 3 options for making a video. You do not have to watch all of these videos. You just need to choose which option works for you and then watch that video. So you could do a VidGrid video, which is what I'm using right now, and if you want to use VidGrid, you watch this video. You can use some other recording device on your computer, and this video will tell you how to embed it in the assignment. You can watch this video. Option 3 lets you use Vocaroo. There's a link to Vocaroo, and this tells you how to do it. Option 4 will tell you how to set up a Google and YouTube account so you can use your phone. You'll watch both of those videos. For most of them, you're either going to paste it in the assignment or you will put a link into the assignment. We're going to also take our test 2 this week. Okay, so test 2 covers all of chapter 2. The first section, you'll be telling the time. You'll look at each of these clocks and you'll write a complete sentence telling me what time it is, like, es la una, son las dos, etc. Then down here, verdad, read each of the following sentences carefully. Then you form a yes-no question for each by either inverting the subject and verb or by using a tag question. We went over those in class. Make sure that when you use the tag question that your question mark goes around your tag question. If you invert your subject and verb, that you have an upside-down question mark at the beginning of your question and a right-side-up one at the end. Here it says, de que país, help your classmate learn the nationalities by completing the following sentences with either the appropriate nationality or country. If you're given the country, you give the nationality. If you're given the nationality, you give the country. Here it says, como son, how much do you know about the people and places below? Find out by using the words provided to create a logical sentence. Be sure to pay attention to agreement and gender and number. So you take the information given and you write out a sentence, and sometimes you may need to plug in an article like an un and una, or an el or a la. Here it says complete the sentences with the correct forms of a star. So read these sentences and then put in the spelling of a star that reflects who it is that's happy or nervous or angry, etc. Here it says que or cual. So read these questions and decide whether you need que or cual to complete them. And remember that you cannot use cual. Cual cannot go immediately before a noun. So if you have a noun, you need to be putting que in there. Then we have donde están los interrogativos. You have a question and you have an answer. What you're missing is a question word. So read through the questions and the answers and then pick the correct question word to best complete the sentence. Los gustos, complete each of the following sentences with a logical verb from the word bank. You do not need to conjugate these, just pick the verb that would make the most sense to complete the sentence. Here, sabes conjugar los verbos AR. Your classmate is helping you review the regular AR verbs. Complete each of the following sentences with the correct form of the appropriate verb. So decide which verb would best complete the sentence, and then change the spelling to reflect who it is that's doing the teaching, the studying, the helping, etc. You're doing the same thing here. You've got a word bank. You're going to pick the verb that would best complete the sentence, and then you will want to conjugate your verb to reflect who it is that's doing the opening, the learning, etc. But just remember that if you have two verbs expressing the same idea, that your verb would not get conjugated. Like if you already have a conjugated verb preceding the verb that you choose, that you leave it in its infinitive form or it keeps its R on the end. Los deberes, do you know the difference between tener and tener que? So you're going to decide if you need tener or tener que for each of the sentences. Remember, if you're talking about things that you have, you own, possess, use tener. If you talk about things that you have to do, use tener que. And then you change the spelling of your tener in either tener by itself or tener que to reflect who it is that has to attend class or has a lot of friends, etc. Here you're just going to match the verb with the activity. Here I am going to read to you, or if you're in my online class, you'll hear a passage read to you about Sara. She has a very busy life, and then decide if the statements below are true, false, based upon what you hear. Here is another conjugation. You'll read this paragraph, pick the verb that makes the most sense, and then change the spelling to reflect who it is that lives or works or attends, etc. And that's everything you have to do for your tests. Okay. Then you also have activities in My Language Labs. So when you're ready, you'll click on My Language Labs and you have to complete these SAM and extra practice. Okay, so here I am in My Language Labs. When you go out here, you want to click on the course calendar. And then you will want to click on the 12th. The assignments will pop up in the middle. Remember, you can do them as many times as you would like. You get the right answer after the third try, and if you're doing it more than that, then I suggest reaching out to me. You also have writing assignment 1. You're critiquing someone for writing assignment 1, so when you open it up this time, you're going to see a rubric and another person's rough draft. You're supposed to go through and give them feedback using that rubric and the feedback section, as well as I'll go through and give everyone feedback, and then you'll do the recording the next week, and then you're starting your final oral dialogue prep. So when you open up the oral dialogue prep, you're in the submission phase. It asks you to describe your class schedule orally. You're going to describe it. You're going to write it out for right now. Eventually, you're going to make the recording, but I like to see what you're thinking. So describe your class schedule in Spanish, as well as that of one other person you know. Tell the classes that you're taking, the classes your friend and acquaintance takes, any classes you have in common, the days, times, place where your classes meet, a description or opinion of these classes. So you'll write all this out. Then the following week, myself and someone else will critique it, and then the week after that, you'll actually make your recording. And again, this is the last one you have to do for this semester. And that's everything you have to do for week 10.